Hello and welcome to World Book Day 2021. I'm Suse Moore, an author based in the county of Surrey in the UK. Today we're going to celebrate the wonderful world of books by heading off to snowy Scotland with Max Power and the Bagpipes for a wild, wind-powered story. But first, I'd like to give a big shout out to the amazing pupils at the local schools here who are joining us on this Power Families adventure. So a big hello to Loseley Fields Primary School in Godalming and the Chandler Church of England Junior School in Whitley and St James's Primary School in Elstead. Welcome everybody. Let's begin. Here we have Max and his sheepdog Haggis, and they're going to try and conjure up the wind with a pair of old bagpipes on a Power Families adventure. We can turn the page. Here we are. Here's Max and Haggis. They're up on top of the mountain at their big, gorgeous wind farm. Here we are. High on a hill where the north wind blows, Max was making snowballs. "Watch me, Haggis. I am Max the juggler," he said, throwing 2 snowballs up into the air. Splot, splat. Both snowballs landed on his head just as Grandpa Power's boat pulled into the harbour below. Max and Haggis jumped onto their snowboard and raced down through the wind fields. Swish, swoosh through the snow, they swooped, carving a fresh track. "Hang on, Haggis," shouted Max. "We're going to catch some air." Whoosh! The snowboard took off. Bump! They landed in a pile of snow on the jetty. "Ahoy, Max," waved Grandpa from the deck. "Are you sure you're ready to do your circus show?" "I will be," said Max. Grandpa looked up at the wind turbines and raised a bushy eyebrow. "We'll need more wind to make enough electricity to heat that big circus tent." "But the circus tent has its own power generator," said Max. "Great! Then let's get ready for your juggling show then," said Grandpa. Shall we see if Max can do some good juggling? Here we are back at the house, and Max threw 2 golf balls up into the air. "I am Max the juggler," he said. He caught one, but the other bounced off the ceiling with a ping. Plop! The ball landed in Grandpa's porridge. "Ah!" said Grandpa. "You definitely need more practice juggling." Just then, Max's dad walked in. "You can stop juggling," he said. "The circus power generator has broken down and they've cancelled the show." Poor Max, he's not going to be able to do his juggling now. "But why?" he said. "All the village power is needed to keep our buildings warm," said Dad. "Your school, your friends' homes, the post office and Scotty's shop." Max's heart sank like a stone. "I'm sorry," said Dad, "but if we could get the wind to blow harder, we could generate enough electricity for the circus tent too." "It's not fair," said Max, running up the stairs to his room. Max sat on his bed. It was the worst day ever. "Ahoy, Max," said Grandpa, knocking on the door. "I know how to make the wind blow harder. Come with me." Out on the icy ocean, aboard the Nippy Knot, Max helped Grandpa search through his old sea chest. "Here it is," said Grandpa, opening an old tin box and handing Max a piece of paper. I wonder what's on the paper. "Power's blowing tune to be played at sunset at the top of Spike Hill," read Max. "You'll need these too," said Grandpa, and hooking a pair of dusty bagpipes from the wall. "A tune will get the wind to blow," said Max. "That's why I gave you the bagpipe lessons," said Grandpa. Max and Haggis reached the top of Spike Hill just as the sun came to rest on the sea like a big glowing orange. Max put the bagpipes under his arm. "Roar," grumbled the bagpipes. He tried again. "Blow," rattled the pipes. "Oh dear, it's not going well, is it? Roar, brew, and again, roar." You see that Haggis and the sheep and the grouse have really all had enough of Max's playing. "That's it," said Max, throwing down the bagpipes. "I'll never get the wind to blow, and I'll never be a juggler." Haggis sniffed the bagpipes. She put the blowpipe to her mouth, and with a huff and a puff she blew up the bag and sat on it. "Do," sang the bagpipes. "Wow," said Max, holding up the blowing tune. "Can you play this?" Haggis shook her head. The sun was going down quickly. They had to do something fast. "I know, we can play it together," said Max. "Woof," said Haggis, and with a huff and a puff, she blew up the bag again. "Do-do-re, do-do-la," sang the bagpipes. "Whoosh," replied the wind, whistling over the sea and up the hill towards the music. "La la 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 me, la 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 me," sang the bagpipes. The wind howled and snatched at the blowing tune. "No," cried Max. Max caught the bagpipes in one hand and the tune in the other, but he and Haggis were scooped up into the air by the whirling wind. Round and round they spun. And the blades of the wind turbines accelerated, generating more and more electricity. And all of a sudden the whirlwind spun off the top of the hill. "Help!" cried Max. "We're being blown out to sea." But when the whirlwind reached Grandpa's boat, it unfurled, landing Max and Haggis gently on the deck. "Phew," said Max. "Nice work," said Grandpa. "You both did a great job getting the wind to blow. There's going to be plenty of electricity now to heat the big tent," said Grandpa. And the very next evening, in the brightly lit, toasty warm big tent, Max juggled three golf balls at once. The audience cheered. "That's my grandson," shouted Grandpa, "the wind maker and the juggler." "Woof, woof," barked Haggis. The end. And do you know who really can play the bagpipes much better than those two on the farm? It's the sheep. Very tuneful sheep. And also we have an extra surprise here which shows how the wind can be turned into electricity using a wind turbine. Thank you so much for joining me, Max and Haggis. Enjoy the rest of World Book Day 2021. Bye-bye.